Are you considering moving to Solomon's Island, Maryland, but can't decide if it's right for you? Make sure you watch this video before you make any decisions. Alright, what's up everybody? My name is Rob Schou and I'm with EXP Realty here in Southern Maryland. Like I said before, if you're thinking of moving to Solomon's Island, Maryland, or maybe even just moving to Southern Maryland in general, make sure you watch this video because I'm going to give you some pros and cons about moving to that Solomon's area. Now before we even get started, if you have any questions or need any help or want a tour of the area or just want some inside knowledge, make sure you use that contact information below. You can see my name, my phone number, my email address. And also if you scroll down to the first comment, you're going to see a link where you can click and schedule a meeting with me through my Calendar app, and it will schedule a meeting directly with me virtually that we can have over Zoom to discuss your buying needs. And if you haven't yet, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the little bell to be notified every time we put out new content, because not only do we do pros and cons about these different areas, we're also going to have vlogs, video tours of the different areas so you can get a feel without even having to come down here and get a good idea if it's a good fit for you. Alright, so like I said before, today what we're going to be talking about is the Solomon's Island area. Now, Solomon's is more than just the downtown island. So when I refer to Solomon's Island, it's kind of included in some other places that are actually off the island. Solomon's Island itself is the downtown part where there's a lot of restaurants and shops, and there is a good amount of housing on there. A lot of them are smaller lots with some bigger, taller homes. And the really nice thing about those homes is a lot of them are near the water. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, so let's go ahead and stop here. What we're going to do is we're going to break it down into pros and cons. Now we're going to go ahead and start with the pros and we'll end with the con, and you're going to want to stay to the end to listen to that last con because it's a big one, especially if you're commuting to work over to Pax River. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the pros. My first pro about living in Solomon's Island is just the lifestyle. So if you're living in downtown Solomon's Island, and that's where a lot of people want to move to, you're right in the middle of all the shops. So if you want that lifestyle where you're, walking to restaurants, walking to coffee shops, being able to see the water right there, Solomon's Island cannot be beat in Southern Maryland because you have so many different restaurants within Solomon's Island. You have the Tiki Bar down towards the end, and you just have lots of little cool restaurants and shops throughout there. And then also the boardwalk that's in front of Solomon's Island is just a really, really neat place to just go for a stroll and take in the Patuxent River. All right, so number two, and I think this is really special down there too, it definitely is a place where it can be your second home very easily. So, a lot of people down there are full-time residents, but there's still plenty of people that own it as a second home and come down there and get away from, Washington, D.C. and other areas of Virginia just to escape because it's close enough to those areas where you can make it an easy commute, an easy trip on a weekend, and then you're just right there in the middle of everything. To be able to really enjoy yourself. Another pro of being in Solomon's is you're close to all the festivals. So there's so many different festivals that go on there. Just to name a few, there's the festival lights during the Christmas time where boats go and parade with Christmas lights on them. They also have, of course, 4th of July fireworks, but then there's just so many other festivals that happen throughout the year, including one that is kind of regionally renowned, which is the Tiki Bar opening, which is the opening of one of the bars that is in downtown Solomon's and that people come from all over the DMV to come in, be a part of. But then there's just also other really cool things like the Dragon Boat Festival, the Waterman's Docking Festival. There's just lots of really neat stuff that you could be right there in Solomon's and access it directly and not have to worry about really taking too much out of your day commuting to there. So there's a lot going on a regular basis within Solomon's itself. And that kind of brings me to the next one, and this one kind of ties into festivals, but Calvert Marine Museum is right there in Solomon's. So Calvary Marine Museum is what it sounds like. It is a marine museum, and it showcases the history of the Chesapeake Bay and the areas around Calvert County and St. Mary's County. And it's just a really neat museum to bring family and friends when they're coming to town, or even just go spend a day yourself kind of exploring the history of it. There's different art displayed throughout it, and it's just a really neat experience. But something else that goes with it is Calvary Marine Museum actually hosts a concert series every single summer. Normally it's 3 to 4 acts that come between the months. I think it's June, and normally about September is when they start. And these aren't just local acts. Normally they can pull some bigger national acts into it as well. It's something that a lot of people in our region enjoy going to, and to be able to be right there and, either a short, Uber ride back to your house or even walking to your house if you're already on Solomon's Island is a really good benefit of being right there. Another one is if you like those kind of festivals and you like those activities and you like experiencing those kind of things, Anne Marie Gardens is also really close by. It's actually in Dowell, which is just outside of Solomon's, and it just is it's an interactive art area where you can go throughout the campus and see all different types of art, whether it's inside the actual building itself or just wandering through the woods and seeing all the different art from all the different local artists that have installed their art throughout it. And there's all different types of classes, types of festivals and events that happen on the regular right there in Anne Marie Gardens. My last part that I'm going to say about Solomon's, besides the festivals and besides that, it is kind of a slower pace of life. I like the fact that you can kind of walk to a lot of those places. I like the fact that you can be close to a lot of things, which is kind of unique to Southern Maryland, where normally, like I've said in other videos, you're driving 15-20 minutes to get to a lot of those places. Now, Solomon's Island is kind of the downtown center area, and there are areas around it. So another pro of Solomon's is that kind of outside the downtown center, there's lots of different housing types. There's a few different condo communities like Oyster Bay and Solomon's Landing, and there's a few different neighborhoods too, and there's even a chance, and it's pretty rare, but there's a chance to find larger home on larger lots kind of in that Dowell/Solomon's area that's kind of on the outside edge of it. So if you're someone that wants to spread out a little bit, you can find those bigger ones, but normally they do come with a higher price tag than you'd expect for the surrounding area, just because it's so unique to have a larger lot there. And one last thing that I would say is a lot of the property that's around there either will have water access, water view, and you can definitely find some waterfront properties in Solomon's itself. And if you don't want to have that waterfront, or if you don't have the water access, there's a boat ramp underneath the Solomon's Island Bridge you can buy a yearly pass for, and it's pretty fairly priced, pretty reasonably priced for you to be able to do that too. So there's lots of options to access the water, which getting out into that Patuxent and just enjoying all the different things it has to offer between fishing and crabbing and all the different restaurants on the water can just be a really awesome experience. All right, well, all those pros sound great. There are some cons to Solomon's. Now, one of the biggest cons is its home prices. So the average home sold last year was $412,000. That's a pretty high price tag, considering Lusby, which is kind of a neighboring town, was closer to that $300,000 range last year. So you're really paying a premium for being in that downtown Solomon's area and being around Solomon's. But you're also more likely to have property that's right near the water, on the water, has a water view. So that's why that price is a little bit higher. Now, another problem with Solomon's, another con for Solomon's, is traffic. With all these festivals, with all these people wanting to come to Solomon's for restaurants, it can get congested. So if you're someone that maybe gets a little frustrated if people coming from out of your area or coming into your area and making it congested for you, it might not be the best place, because there is tourist traffic. There is going to be people coming in and out on the regular, especially in the summertime, especially when there are festivals, especially when there's concerts at Calvary Museum. But I think it's kind of worth it to be able to be right there in the middle of it, because those are going to be events that you want to be a part of anyways. So you're probably going to be okay with being part of the traffic on the island at least. And that kind of goes to that next one. There's not just traffic when you're dealing with those festivals. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there's some traffic when you're dealing with the commute. So if you're going over to Pax River and you're living in Solomon's, because a lot of people that live in Solomon's are going to commute to Pax River and St. Mary's County, you're going to have to go over the Thomas Johnson Bridge. Now, if you know from previous videos, I talk about that being a con for Lusby as well. There can be traffic that just backs up on that bridge just because it's a bottleneck point between Calvert County and St. Mary's County. Now, this may not be as big of an issue now, especially with a lot of people teleworking, but it's still something to consider when you're looking at Solomon's as a whole and if it's the right fit for you. All right, so hopefully that helps you when you're making some decisions about moving to Solomon's, Maryland. If you have any questions or need any help, make sure you use that contact information below to reach out to me, and I can help you kind of narrow down your ideas and help you kind of work through what you need help with to move down here to Solomon's. Now, again, if you want, you can click the link right here too, and you can schedule a calendar meet with me. It will be a Zoom meeting, one-on-one with me to talk about your buying needs. And as always, if you haven't yet, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you're notified every time we put out new content on our channel. Hope to see you on the next.